All right, let's talk about the future of Formula One. Because in 2026, the sport is hitting a massive reset button. Seriously, this is one of the biggest technical shakeups we've ever seen. This isn't just tweaking the rules, they are completely reimagining what a Formula One car is from the ground up.
So, forget the cars you're used to seeing on the track right now. The 2026 formula is a whole new beast. The entire design is aimed at creating cars that are lighter, way smarter with their power, and best of all, built specifically for that aggressive, edgier seat, wheel-to-wheel racing that we all love.
So you're probably asking, why? Why go through all this trouble for such a massive overhaul? Well, it's all driven by a really clear vision for where F1 is headed. And that vision really boils down to three core ideas. First off, they want more agile cars that can actually race each other closer and harder. Second, there's a huge push for sustainability with brand new fuels and hybrid systems. And third, and this one is so important, it's all about putting the focus right back where it belongs, on pure driver skill.
Okay, so let's get into the machine itself. The FIA has this great name for it, the Nimble Car Concept. And honestly, that name says it all. The whole point is to make these cars feel more alive, more dynamic and responsive for the person behind the wheel. Now, this is a complete 180 in terms of design philosophy. Today's cars have insane aerodynamics, right? But all that downforce creates a ton of turbulent, dirty air. That wake that makes it almost impossible for another car to follow closely. The 2026 car is designed to fix that, relying more on good old-fashioned mechanical grip instead of just pure aero.
First things first, these cars are going on a serious diet. We're talking a minimum of 30 kilos lighter. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but trust me, in a sport where they count every single gram, 30 kilos is a massive, massive difference. The drivers are going to feel that instantly, every single time they brake or accelerate.
Next up, the cars are literally getting shorter. The wheelbase is being cut by 200 millimeters. Think of it like the difference between trying to park a bus versus a sports car. A shorter car can just rotate so much faster, which should make it an absolute weapon on tight tracks like Monaco.
And to top it all off, the cars are also getting skinnier, 100 millimeters narrower to be exact. So let's recap. Lighter, shorter, and narrower. What you're looking at is a much more compact, much more agile racing machine.
So how exactly are they tackling that dirty air problem we were talking about? Well, a huge part of the answer lies underneath the car, in the floor. They're ditching the super complex underbody tunnels we have now and going back to a simpler partial flat floor. This is a direct attack on that dirty air, and it's designed to let cars follow each other right on the gearbox through corners.
But the changes to the aerodynamics do not stop there. Oh no. In fact, this next one, this might just be the most radical change of them all. Formula One is officially going all in on active aero.
Yep, that means it's time to say goodbye to the drag reduction system, or DRS as we know it. See, unlike DRS, which is basically a boost just for the chasing car, this brand new active aero system can be used by every single driver on certain straights. That is going to completely change race strategy.
So here's how it works. The system has two modes. The default setting is called Z mode. You can think of this as cornering mode. The wings are angled way up, pushing the car hard into the track, and basically gluing it to the asphalt for maximum possible grip.
But then, as soon as the driver hits a straight, bam! They switch over to X mode. This is your top speed mode. Both the front and rear wing elements flatten out, making the car incredibly slippery and letting it just slice through the air down the straight.
And just look at these numbers, because they are absolutely wild. Overall downforce is being cut by about 30%, but drag is being slashed by a whopping 55%. So what does that actually mean? It means these cars will be absolute rockets on the straights, but a real handful to drive in the corners, which puts a huge premium back on pure driver talent.
Okay, so we've covered the body and the wings. Now it's time to get under the hood and talk about the heart of this beast, the new power unit. And believe me, things are getting a massive shakeup here too.
Yeah, just look at this. This is a real shock to the system. The power coming from the electrical side is almost tripling, jumping from 120 kilowatts all the way to 350. And to balance that out, they're actually reducing the power from the traditional combustion engine. The result? You get a near-perfect 50-50 split between electric and combustion power. A true hybrid monster.
And that's not all. The engine is going to run on 100% sustainable drop-in fuels, which is cool because it means they could theoretically be used in a regular road car. They've also finally gotten rid of that notoriously complex and expensive part, the MGUH, and that simplification is a really big deal. It's one of the main reasons why huge brands like Audi are jumping into the sport in 2026.
Okay, so wait a second. If every single car has this super speed X mode on the straights, how is anyone ever going to overtake? That's a great question. And the answer is a brand new push-to-pass system called the manual override.
And this creates a brilliant little cat and mouse game on the track. So imagine you're hunting down the car in front. As soon as you get within 1 second, you can hit the override button. That gives you a big jolt of extra electrical power, all the way up to 337 kilometers per hour. But here's the crucial part. At that exact moment, the car you're attacking has its electrical power start to taper off. That creates the speed difference you need to make the pass.
So when you put it all together, the lighter chassis, the wild active Aero, that new 50/50 hybrid engine, and the manual override system, it all points to one single goal: making the racing more dynamic, more unpredictable, and ultimately rewarding the most talented drivers on the grid.
Look, this is a bold, new vision for the pinnacle of motorsport. No doubt about it. The cars are going to be faster than ever on the straights, way trickier in the corners, and a much bigger challenge to really master. It is a recipe for a completely new kind of racing. So, I'll just leave you with this to think about. Of all these incredible changes, which one do you think will have the biggest impact when those lights go out in 2026?